Courtney Thorne-Smith has been a familiar presence on television screens for decades, admired for her warmth, relatability, and understated charm. Known for roles in Melrose Place and According to Jim, she built a career around portraying characters who felt real, approachable, and grounded. Recently, she stepped into the spotlight in a way no one expected, capturing attention not through headlines or controversy, but simply by showing a bolder version of herself. This moment wasn't just about fashion, it carried a message of confidence, personal growth, and authenticity. People paused, watched, and reacted because it disrupted long-held expectations. In a world quick to categorize public figures, Courtney's choice served as a gentle reminder that people evolve and that growth can be expressed quietly but powerfully. It was a moment that resonated far beyond appearances, inviting reflection on identity, courage, and self-expression. The image everyone thought they knew for years. Courtney Thorne-Smith cultivated a public image grounded in calmness, reliability, and authenticity. Fans appreciated her for being relatable, someone who seemed genuine both on and off screen. Her roles often emphasized kindness, flawlessness balanced with imperfection, and a grounded personality. Off-screen, she reinforced this image through private interviews, simple red carpet appearances, and a low-profile lifestyle. This consistent portrayal made her feel like someone audiences could understand, almost like a comforting presence in the ever-changing world of Hollywood. The long-standing familiarity set the stage for what happened next. When someone so steady and understated chooses to step into boldness, the contrast is striking. This perception mattered because it framed the impact of her recent moment. It wasn't a random display, but a disruption of expectations. People were confronted with a version of Courtney they hadn't anticipated, which made the moment all the more captivating. A moment that changed the room. When Courtney appeared that day, her entrance caused an immediate shift in energy. There was no announcement or fanfare, just her presence. And suddenly, the room responded. Conversations stopped, eyes turned, and a collective pause marked the air. What she wore was unexpected, daring even, but carefully considered. It wasn't extreme or careless, it had purpose. Courtney carried herself with calm assurance, making her choice feel intentional rather than performative. That confidence transformed what could have been a shocking display into an empowering statement. The impact wasn't just visual, it was emotional. Observers felt the weight of her presence because she exuded self-assuredness. This moment highlighted that how someone carries themselves can often communicate more than clothing alone. Courtney's quiet poise turned a simple entrance into a memorable display of personal power and authenticity, making everyone take notice without a single word spoken. Why the surprise? Hit so hard. Surprise is powerful when expectations are firmly established, and Courtney's long-held image had set the stage. Audiences assumed she would continue in her familiar, understated ways. Stepping outside those boundaries disrupted their assumptions. The reaction wasn't about judgment or controversy, it was about cognitive dissonance. People had categorized her for decades, believing they understood her identity. When she challenged that perception, it forced a re-evaluation. The bold choice became a lesson in how we unconsciously confine others into predictable molds, and how discomfort arises when someone defies those assumptions. The fascination that followed wasn't merely about fashion, it was about witnessing someone break free from a narrative written by others. This shift highlighted the subtle but powerful impact of personal reinvention, demonstrating that growth and self-expression can surprise, challenge, and inspire, even without words. The internet reacts instantly. Once images of Courtney circulated online, reactions exploded across social media. Fans, critics, and casual observers weighed in, producing a mix of admiration, confusion, and speculation. Some applauded her confidence, noting the empowering nature of her choice. Others were unsure, questioning the intention behind it. Fellow celebrities joined the conversation, reinforcing the intrigue and elevating the moment's visibility. Despite differing opinions, engagement was undeniable, proving that the moment resonated widely. Courtney's impact wasn't about creating controversy, but about commanding attention through presence and authenticity. The viral response highlighted how powerful subtle acts of self-expression can be in a culture that thrives on spectacle. People couldn't stop talking because the moment offered more than a visual. It invited discussion, interpretation, and reflection on identity, choice, and the freedom to redefine oneself. Was it really about attention? It's easy to assume that such a bold moment stems from a desire for attention, but that perspective oversimplifies the situation. Courtney has never been known for chasing the spotlight or seeking validation. She built her career through consistent performances and relatable portrayals, earning respect without relying on sensationalism. This makes the idea of attention-seeking unlikely. A more compelling explanation is personal freedom, the choice to express herself authentically, without worrying about external judgment. At a certain point, self-expression becomes about claiming space, embracing growth, and honoring one's evolution. If Courtney's moment was rooted in self-assurance rather than external validation, it transforms from a potential spectacle into a profound statement of autonomy. The emphasis shifts from audience reaction to personal empowerment, making it an authentic reflection of her identity rather than a strategic performance. Breaking away from a long-held mold, being associated with a consistent public image can feel confining, even when positive. Courtney's career had long emphasized calmness, stability, and relatability, traits admired but potentially limiting in capturing the full scope of her personality. Fame often freezes people in the version audiences first embraced, ignoring the natural evolution of identity. Her recent bold choice acted as a quiet rebellion, expanding her public persona without rejecting her past. This moment illustrated that growth doesn't require dramatic announcements or theatrical gestures. Sometimes simply showing up differently conveys the most powerful message. Courtney reminded audiences that personal evolution continues regardless of public expectation. Confidence that spoke louder than words. What made this moment remarkable wasn't the clothing, but the self-assurance that accompanied it. Courtney exuded calm, grounded confidence, conveying comfort in her own skin. She wasn't seeking approval or bracing for criticism. She was simply present. That kind of assurance transforms bold choices from risky to empowering. Confidence reframes perception, turning a daring visual statement into a message of strength. Observers noticed because it was genuine, the result of self-acceptance and maturity, not performance. Courtney's presence demonstrated that empowerment often comes quietly, through posture, poise, and unshakable self-belief. Why this moment felt relatable? The resonance of this moment comes from its universality. Most people have experienced hesitation about stepping outside expectations, whether through appearance, behavior, or personal expression. Courtney's quiet confidence provided a relatable model of courage, demonstrating that it's possible to embrace change without needing validation. Her choice mirrored an internal struggle many face privately, the desire to evolve while fearing judgment. By witnessing someone calmly inhabit a bolder version of herself, audiences felt validated in their own desire for authenticity. This relatability elevated the moment beyond celebrity culture, transforming it into a conversation about growth, self-expression, and the courage to live openly as one's full self. It wasn't just a visual spectacle, it was a reflection of shared human experience, challenging how we judge change. Courtney's moment also highlighted societal expectations, particularly for women, about appearance and behavior as they age or evolve. Shifts in style, presence, or expression are often scrutinized more harshly when someone has an established identity. Her choice gently challenged these limitations, illustrating that self-expression and personal growth don't have expiration dates. Discomfort from observers often stemmed not from what she wore, but from her willingness to defy unspoken rules. By stepping outside conventional expectations, she sparked reflection on rigid norms and the tendency to pigeonhole others. Final thoughts. Ultimately, Courtney Thorne-Smith's bold appearance wasn't about controversy, approval, or attention. It was about presence, self-expression, and personal evolution. She demonstrated that growth is personal, fluid, and independent of external validation. Her moment served as a reminder that one doesn't owe the world consistency at the expense of authenticity. By stepping into a fuller, bolder version of herself, Courtney encouraged others to embrace change, assert their own identity, and live without apology. The reaction she elicited, surprise, admiration, debate, speaks to the